Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else. Please, if you enjoy this video, like, subscribe, leave a comment. It's the Global History Show with Mr. Benjamin. This episode, the Paleolithic, Neolithic, and Mesopotamia.
Woo! It's a Global History Show.
Learning targets for this episode. I can describe the way people lived in the Paleolithic Age. I can explain the changes that occurred in the Neolithic Age. I can analyze information on societies in Mesopotamia and determine if they are civilizations. The time period prior to the development of civilization is called the Paleolithic or Old Stone Age. People of the Paleolithic are developmentally, biologically, and evolutionarily identical to modern humans. The Paleolithic spans the greatest amount of time that people have existed, about 97% of our history as a species. The Paleolithic ended with the development of farming, a period called the Neolithic or New Stone Age. With the transition to farming, societies developed civilization. What evidence do we use to discover how Paleolithic people lived? Anthropologists and archaeologists examine artifacts, objects left behind by people like tools, skeletons of people from the Paleolithic Age, modern day hunting and gathering people, and genomic testing. Once civilization develops following the Neolithic Revolution, historians do much of the discoveries. Historians are experts in studying the past using written records. People lived the same for thousands of years. Paleolithic people were hunters and gatherers. They hunted animals for meat and gathered nuts, seeds, roots, berries, and other food from their environment. Women did the gathering and supplied most of the food. Men did the hunting. Both the hunting and the gathering were of equal importance to survival of the community. We lived in small clans or related groups of families. We were nomadic, moving from place to place. We moved to follow the food supplies, migrating animals, or the ripening of fruits, berries, or edible plants. We were migratory, moving to the same locations seasonally. Groups of men hunted together, working cooperatively. They often would chase animals over long distances until the animals tired out. Then they would kill them using compound tools like spears, atlatls, or bows and arrows. Hunters and gatherer societies spent 6 hours a day working. After farming develops, time spent working increases to 9.5 hours a day. Today, we often work 9 hours a day. Many people work more. Going hunting? No, I'm going clubbing. Hunter and gathering societies were led by women. That is, most of human history, women were in charge. Societies may have been more peaceful with no evidence of warfare, though there is some evidence of a high homicide rate, that is, murder. Paleolithic humans buried their dead with other objects, indicating a belief in an afterlife. They had spiritual leaders and worshipped many gods of nature. That is, they were animistic. Paleolithic people painted on rocks and walls and ceilings of caves. They made music and danced in ceremonies. They made fertility statues. After the Paleolithic Age came the Mesolithic, or Middle Stone Age, when dogs were domesticated. The development of farming marks the end of this period and the beginning of the Neolithic Age. The Neolithic Age, 8000 BCE to 5000 BCE, was the result of a slow transition from hunting and gathering to agriculture, the planting of seeds, farming, and animal husbandry, the domestication of animals. The great benefit that comes from farming is that people had greater control over their food supply. Hunting and gathering societies can only maintain a population that they can feed during the worst part of the worst year. With farming, the supply of food is more consistent. A food surplus, more food than is needed to feed yourself and your family, can be produced. This way, extra food can be stored for years with a poor harvest. And not everyone has to be a food producer. Job specialization can develop. Some specialized jobs could include priests and priestesses, kings, soldiers, architects, scribes, people who can read and write, potters, metal workers, healers, engineers, and so on. With these outcomes from farming, civilization develops. A complex society with advanced knowledge in many areas. With different people doing different jobs, social classes form. With people working at new professions full-time, things become more complex, like government, religion, art and architecture, and writing develops. The new complex government can pay people with extra food produced to do public works or build and maintain things that benefit the society as a whole. Irrigation ditches, digging channels for water to be moved from rivers to the crop fields, building defensive walls to protect it from invaders, and they could build roads and bridges. With farming, people no longer had to be nomadic, and people settled and formed cities. These societies that developed these characteristics, historians call civilizations. Public works, cities, writing, complex government, complex religion, job specialization of social classes, and art and architecture.
Mother, I am a nomadic Paleolithic woman. I move from place to place. I know, dear, but I was hoping you'd meet a nice Neolithic man and settle down.
Civilizations developed first along river valleys. Mesopotamia, with Sumer and Babylon, developed on the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers. Egypt developed on the Nile River. Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, or ancient Indian civilizations, developed on the Indus River. Ancient Chinese civilization, including the Shang and Qin, developed on the Huang He and the Yangtze rivers. The rivers in these river valleys flooded each year. The yearly flooding deposited rich soil that was good for farming. Irrigation uses the water from the river to water the crops. Rivers were also useful for fresh water and to transport the excess crops to trade with other areas. The first civilizations are likely those developed in the Tigris and Euphrates river valleys, called Mesopotamia, often referred to as the cradle of civilization. With the archaeological discoveries being made, there is some evidence that civilization developed in the Indus River Valley in India at the same time. Ancient Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia is Greek for the land between the rivers. They're talking about the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Mesopotamia is part of the Fertile Crescent, a crescent-shaped region with fertile soil. Ancient Sumer forms in 3000 BCE. The Sumerians built walled city-states across Mesopotamia with populations of up to 250,000 people. A city-state is a city that acts like a country. Sumerians built ziggurats, large pyramid-like multi-story temples. They were polytheistic and believed in many gods. The Sumerians developed cuneiform, the first system of writing in human history. Cuneiform was writing formed by pressing a pen-like instrument into clay to form words made of triangles and lines. They built irrigation systems to increase farm yields. Other civilizations emerged in the Tigris-Euphrates River Valley after Sumer. Babylonian civilization formed in 1760 BCE. One of the great kings of Babylon was King Hammurabi. King Hammurabi made the city of Babylon his capital and claimed divine right, or that his power to rule came from the gods. King Hammurabi is best known for the development of history's first system of written laws, the Code of Hammurabi, or Hammurabi's Code. The Code of Hammurabi is a harsh set of laws based on the concept of an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. That is, punishments should fit the crime. If a person poked out the eye of another, the punishment should be his or her eye should be poked out. The Code of Hammurabi also contains biases, like class bias, with punishments being more severe for lower classes than for the upper class. Women are also treated with less value than men. Sumer and Babylon had other kings as well: Gilgamesh, Sargon, Ashurbanipal, Nebuchadnezzar, and many more. Well, that's it for our show. King Hammurabi? No, I did not poke anybody's eyes out. I'm sorry, you knew the rules. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Hammurabi's code. Ah! The inhumanity! Oh, justice. I see. Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else. Please, if you enjoy this video, like, subscribe, leave a comment.
It's a